tough kid. Short, he'll like to get inside, he'll brawl with you. You saw a little bit of that in the bout with Vernon Forrest last year. This should be a good one.
Lyle Ackelstead is a referee for this bout. Steve Johnston in red, Shane Mosley of Pomona, California in the blue. I mentioned Steve Johnston being a tough kid. He comes from a tough section of Denver. Went to Manual High School and was an outstanding all-around athlete, played football. The punt returner, defensive back, and was recruited by several major schools to return punts.
Idaho State were two football schools that wanted him. He said Utah was looking at him. You talk to Shane Mosley, he feels he needs to be more aggressive to beat Johnston because Johnston will be aggressive. You can see Johnston, this is not unlike the fight with the taller McKee and the shorter Griffin. Johnston all over the taller Mosley, and he's going to press this fight. Did not like losing the title last year.
Shane Mosley lost to Steve Johnston 21-17 in the semifinals of the Olympic Festival, and that began a very difficult year for Shane because the loss kept him out of the World Championships and the Pan American Games, and he said he had to go back to the drawing board. Felt he wasn't ready mentally, but he feels he's a much smarter, more mature boxer now.
Johnston's been working on the left uppercut. Mosley has a left jab, moves his head well. Says he tightens up in big bouts, and this certainly for the national title is a big bout. And if you tighten up and you don't have that extension and you have a reach advantage, it could cause some problems.
Three-time Olympic coach Pat Nappy, the godfather of U.S. amateur boxing, said a couple of years ago that Shane Mosley has the fastest hands of any U.S. boxer.
Stevie pressing him, definitely pressing him. Johnston had a cold after his semi-final bout. He beat Patrick Washington in the semis, and he came out of it with a head cold. So the second and third round could be telling for Stevie Johnston.
See Mosley stepping back and allowing those punches to miss, and then using that hand speed to land some shots. He really has quick hands. Sometimes that aggressiveness can work against you if you're facing a good counterpuncher like a Mosley.
See, that's what Mosley does not want. Stevie Johnston wants to brawl. Mosley wants to keep his distance. Whoever is able to move the bout in their direction is going to have the upper hand.
As you mentioned, they've met twice previously. Each boxer has a victory. Johnston straight ahead, trying to close off the ring. Mosley backpedaling and landing some punches. He was just cautioned for pinning Johnston's glove beneath his arm. Seconds of round one. Two evenly matched boxers, Steve Johnston and Shane Mosley. We'll have more from Colorado Springs in a moment. Shane Mosley for the championship at 139 pounds. Mosley in blue, Johnston in red. Good left by Mosley, snapping Johnston's head back.
That 4-3 score indicates that neither boxer is scoring, in the opinion of the judges, many scoring blows. So the boxer that gets a flurry and 3 or 4 scoring blows, a combination, could take a big lead in this bout.
Shane Mosley is coached by his dad, Jack, who's in his corner tonight. Steve Johnston got started in boxing at the age of 14. His uncle Richard got him started.
Stevie cannot afford to give this kind of space to Shane Mosley. Mosley wants to sit outside and pop away, and he will. Steve Johnston has to get up in his face, get closer.
Flurry by Mosley, counter-punching, and a good left by Shane.
Johnston walked right into that.
And another one.
Yeah.
And a right. Good overhand right by Shane Mosley. See that hand speed? He is really quick. 1 minute remaining in round 2.
Good right hand by Stevie Johnston out of that clinch.
Johnston landing again with a left. Mosley back with a right. Johnston trying to be the aggressor, but missing with quite a few of those punches.
He's a little wary. He doesn't want to come too far inside, but I believe he's behind in this bout. And Steve Johnston will have to press Shane Mosley from a closer distance if he's going to catch up, score points.
Johnston was just cautioned for butting.
Good left by Johnston. Keeping his distance. I think if he moves in, he can steal this bout from Shane Mosley, but he cannot sit out there at arm's length.
So this one is very much up for grabs, with Mosley ahead 10-9 as we go to the third and final round.
Steve Johnston coming in. Remember the head cold in the semifinals. Third round could be tough for Steve Johnston if it's bothering him.
We asked Steve if it's an advantage for him being from Colorado and being used to the altitude, and he said no, not really. Which surprised me because
I played football out here in Wyoming, and I can tell you it is an advantage. If they didn't get 40 points on us in the first quarter, which they normally did, we usually could catch up by the fourth quarter.
Caution to Steve Johnston for holding behind the head. This division appears to be loaded with quality boxers. Vernon Forrest, the reigning U.S. champion, he's ranked third in the world. Both Mosley and Johnston are former U.S. champions. Mosley landing lefts and rights and forcing Johnston to back up.
Teron Millette, another tremendous amateur boxer.
The U.S. is very strong in the lighter weights. Eric Griffin, a world champion, 106. You saw De La Hoya at 132. Tim Austin at 112, also an excellent boxer. But as you move into the heavier weights, that's where the U.S. seems to be weak, although Shannon Briggs looks very promising.
Puha tonight, too, I thought, in the super heavyweight division. I thought he has a tremendous amount of potential.
The best heavyweight in the world is Felix Savon of Cuba, who, if he lived anywhere else, would be a pro by now. He's a great boxer. Good exchange by Mosley. Johnston missing.
Johnston standing right in front of Shane Mosley, and that's not a good idea.
Johnston trying to keep the pressure on, but Mosley eluded most of those punches.
Mosley appears to be tired, and Steve Johnston normally, as we've seen him in the past, would be pressing harder here. He's really not.
Stevie looks a little tired.
I'm wondering if he thinks he's ahead in this bout.
I wouldn't think so.
I wouldn't think so either, but he's boxing like he's ahead.
Mosley just hit him with a good right as Johnston was walking in. Mosley bouncing off the ropes, counter-punching effectively. So it's all over at 139 pounds. Will it be Shane Mosley who's...
Division in the blue corner,